Let's get loud.
It's showtime, showtime, showtime. Let's go, Seattle fans. Where you at? How devoted are you? Time to get loud.
All right, welcome to this edition of the Loud and Devoted podcast. This is the Receipt Tuesday episode as we look back at what Vega and I both said on the 11th hour podcast on Sunday morning, just before the 10 a.m. kickoffs. And it's another kind of interesting way to be able to see and show the receipts. What did we say? What really happened on the field? It's kind of another interesting take on what happened during the game. And be able to, again, not to say that we want bragging rights or anything, but just to kind of hold ourselves accountable for what we had said. And as you'll see in this edition, the various questions that I had asked, posed for both of us to answer. And this is what we said on starting with question one. Who are some players you're looking at?
Well, of course, me, probably like everybody else, we really want to see Byron Murphy in action in a real game. We're ready. Let's go. We're hoping he's doing, he does well today because he looks so great in preseason. They were already double teaming him, so I want to see. I don't want to see more double teaming. I want to see him be the reason they double team and take it away. I want. Poor Bo Nix might be running. Hopefully we'll see poor Bo Nix running around today because of Byron Murphy trying to, kill him. like Aaron Donald used to do to poor Russell Wilson. And we had to watch that twice a year. Now it's our turn. It's our turn to see that, Also, I would really like to see, I'd like to see Derek Hall make a jump, because he looked very promising. So I'd like to see him make a jump this year as an edge rusher. And where I really want to see come back to first season or rookie season form is Tariq Woolen, And then my other hope is just Witherspoon just keep doing what he's doing. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and for me, I think on offense, I want to see how they're going to utilize JSN better. Yeah. I think that he's such an amazing receiver, and his route making is so good. He does his route trees are usually very flawless, and yet we didn't really key on him so much last year. And I think that the fact that how Grubb is going to use the tight ends and the running backs, and then on defense, I'm going to also say someone I think that needs to do well, needs to improve is Dre Jones. Dre Jones is Draymond Jones is a guy that comes from Denver. We got him, as a free agent, very high price on our salary cap, but of course, kind of played sort of average last year in that defense that we had. So question number 2 is, what are some question marks you have about this new look Seahawks squad?
Well, I know, and we talked about this earlier, even before we went on. You were mentioning Mike Mack's, complex things requires communication, and that. Actually, for once, the Seahawks fans they're so loud, it might be hard for the guys to communicate on defense. So and so our defense may come out looking not so hot, and may take them a while to really, gel, especially with the new system. So it may take them a while.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them use their tight ends that same way too. Yeah. Just that guy. Like they would never throw to Disley. And I'm like, guys, every time you throw to him, he gets 10 extra yards. Why did we stop using him? And I want to see them use Jake Bobo. God damn it. Because we saw, again, another one is like, every time we threw to him, he makes some spectacular catch in the end zone, especially red zone. I want to see Jake Bobo be a red zone weapon, because he was. Yeah. And then we stopped using him the rest of the year.
Yeah. The offensive line for me is going to be the biggest question mark in this entire game, this entire season, because all 5 guys have never played together before, and now it's time to predict the score.
Kind of 2023, maybe. Hopefully, Seahawks on the 23 side of that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to decide by a field goal or.
So if that's the case, then I could see it being like a 23-16.
Yeah.
Like, a 23 to. What did I say earlier? 23-17?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. 23-17 is what I thought it could be, because it's a 6-point win for Seattle either way. Just like All right. As you could see, those various questions and our concerns that we had and the prediction of the scores. Again, I'm very thankful that I did listen to Vegas, not Vega. I will listen to Vega every once in a while, but Vegas, the odds had them winning by the Seahawks winning by 6, which is exactly what happened. And again, as I said in the podcast, it was really just a concern about Bo Nix. If he was to come in there as a rookie, his very first game coming back to the Northwest, and if he really like shit the bed, I thought Seattle would win by 20. But he didn't shit the bed. He actually did really pretty well. I mean, his QB rating was really crap. However, he made the plays he needed to make at the right times. And he kind of saw that with all the rookies this year, didn't you? Caleb Williams didn't play very well, but at the moments he needed to, he did well. Jalen Daniels did the same thing. I think that's what you're going to see most likely out of this rookie quarterback class. That we're thankful for this rookie quarterback class, by the way, because it pushed out all the defensive players that could have went in the first 10 picks down to Seattle at number 16, and we were able to get Byron Murphy. And look what Byron Murphy did. Vega called it. She said, she was going to be looking forward to seeing Byron Murphy in his first game. How many freaking double teams did the kid have? He had so many double teams that it allowed for the other guys on the defensive line, Leonard Williams and Mafe, to do a lot better job because they were getting more one-on-ones than Byron Murphy. And that's exactly what you want from your defensive tackle or one of your guys to be able to soak up at least 2 guys to leave it available for the other guys to go get their food, which is Bo Nix. And Bo Nix was, like Vega was asking for, we want him to be running around with his head chopped off. And that's exactly what happened. How many quarterback pressures were on Bo Nix, and that Seattle defense? Oh my gosh, if it wasn't for that Seattle defense, the predictions that Vega and I had would have been completely out of the realm, because in all theory, it should have been 30-0 at halftime, given the fact that that Seattle offense just puttered. And again, that was, as you saw, my very first concern was the offensive line. And we saw how they did not gel in that first half. They couldn't run the ball. Geno throws an interception, very, very like first or second throw of the game. And I was like, oh my God, I had that as a gut feeling that was going to be a problem, and it was. And whatever Coach Grubb and what Coach Mike Mack said at halftime to make it work, I have no idea. But bottle that sucker up and sell it and put it on Amazon and make $1 trillion, because it worked. And they came back out in the second half, and that offensive line worries went away. And you could see what happened where K9 got the touchdown, the running touchdown and stuff. So again, it's still a concern, I'm going to say, and I'll say that in the 12th hour podcast on Sunday. We called it the 11th hour on Sunday morning before the 10 a.m. games, but we're going to call it the 12th man podcast. Thank you, Vega. Right before the 10 a.m. games, which we play at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So again, some of the other concerns that I had, of course, was keeping Geno Smith up and making sure he does not get injured. And thankfully, he came away, even though he took some pretty good hits in week 1 against Denver. I still am concerned going forward how they're going to continue to protect Geno. The one thing that we noticed too in this game is I think Witherspoon's the one that said that the defense played vanilla, and he noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of aggressiveness by Mike Mack in terms of showing blitz on one side of then. I mean, you kind of saw that a little bit where you would see the guy, especially on third down, come on one side of the defensive line and then back away as the ball was snapped. That happened a handful of times. But I think in Baltimore, you just kind of saw that a lot more. And I think they're going to be easing the guys in on defense, easing the guys in on offense, because you didn't see Coach Grubb play a whole lot of pre-snap motion either. You didn't see a whole lot of guys going left and right before the snap. And so that's something that I'll be looking forward to. But again, I'll bring all this up in the 12th hour podcast on Sunday morning before the 10 a.m. kickoff. And so, again, it was just a fun way, this version, Receipt Tuesday, to keep Vega and I accountable to ourselves and what we said. We didn't see Jake Bobo. Sorry, Vega. I wish we did. We're not going to see Jake Bobo, not for a while, I don't think, honestly. We'll probably see him when we go to 4 wide receiver sets. Tyler Lockett did well. Of course, that last reception for the first down that pretty much sealed this victory. Again, that was a precision play, and you need someone like Geno Smith that can do that. And I'm really concerned about that again going forward. I'm not trying to put this out there too heavy about the need for Geno, but there's a few quarterbacks that can do exactly what Geno Smith did on that play, and very few receivers like Tyler Lockett that can keep focus and be able to get the one hand on the ball and make that catch to win the game, basically. So we've got lots to be thankful for today. It was a very much, to me, it was a 4th preseason game. The way that we prepared for it, the way that we played in the first half really felt like a preseason game on offense. And thank God for the defense. That's all I'm going to say. Again, it should have been 30-0 at halftime if we had last year's defense, but it's a new day, you guys. It's a new day. I'm so happy I was able to cork that bottle of champagne and say, yes, a new season is here. My name is Aaron Thomas, also known as NativeSeahawk on X. And thank you for joining us. Please hit the like and subscribe button for this great podcast so you can stay in the know. Kind of a different look at things. I'm not trying to be like the other podcasters. I really don't want this show to be another lineup of things that you have to watch on the certain times of the day. It's going to be times where I think most people are not really putting things out there. So it kind of gives you another option to hear from Seahawk fans. My 17th or 18th year as a season ticket holder. I can't wait to go to the Dolphins-Seahawks game up in Seattle. And I live down here in Palm Springs, California. And so I can't wait to get home for that weekend showdown against Tua and Tyreek Hill. Again, we'll see you guys back very soon on another edition of Loud and the Devoted right here on this great podcast.